According to Rio Ferdinand, Jude Bellingham is not 19. The legendary former Manchester United defender believes that the teenager is much older and has demanded to see his birth certificate. But why would he question the legitimacy of one of the most exciting teenagers in the history of football? And what do other soccer legends, players, and managers think about Jude Bellingham? Let's find out. But first, we've got to talk about Rio Ferdinand's comments. At first, it looked like a verbal attack on the 19-year-old, but it was clearly said out of utmost admiration for the lad. Ferdinand, who is keen on seeing his former side make a move for the Dortmund man as part of the plan to dominate England again, had this to say about Bellingham on his YouTube channel. He plays well, beyond his years. His character, intelligence, integrity, you can trust him on the pitch. He makes demands. I've watched him closely. He demands of other people at a young age. All these characteristics that I feel Man United need. Ferdinand focused more on Bellingham's character and attitude on the pitch than on his technical side, saying, again, I'm going away from, regardless if he's got the technical ability, which I think he has, but I don't even look at that too much. I look at the character. They're the reasons I'm buying you. The other stuff, the football stuff, is brilliant, yeah, and you've got to have a certain level of that. I understand. But the overriding factor is the character. Ferdinand also believes that Bellingham improves every team that he plays in. At this point, you might be wondering what it is about Bellingham's character, but you have to look no further than what Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola said about the player. Having faced Bellingham twice in the last 3 Champions League seasons, it didn't take long for Pep to become a fan of the English man. The Catalan remarked a few months back he was 17 when he arrived, but it was not just about his quality, how he was leading, his kicking, going to the referee. This guy was something special in terms of his mentality. Now he is 19 and he is already one of the captains. The quality, everybody knows it. The whole package is really good. But Guardiola isn't the only manager to be impressed with Bellingham. The Three Lions coach, Gareth Southgate, has also had much praise for the teenager and included him in his first 11 ahead of other talented players at the World Cup in Qatar. Southgate said, I don't think we could have predicted how quickly he would mature. Southgate said after the round of 16 win over Senegal, even in the last 6 months, that's gone to another level. Aside from his managers, many of the players he has been with also have some things to say about Bellingham. Manchester City star Phil Foden does not see any loopholes in Bellingham's game and eyes a bright future for the youngster. Ahead of the World Cup in Qatar, Foden's words were, I don't want to big him up too much because he's still young, but he's one of the most gifted players I've ever seen. I don't see a weakness in his game. I think he's got everything. I'm sure he's gonna be the best midfielder in the world. The Liverpool captain and fellow England midfielder also praised his teammates' talent, saying, I can't keep saying nice things about him because we're talking about a one-off. But the most surprised of all of his teammates on the national side was Luke Shaw. Shaw said to England's YouTube channel that Bellingham was the player who surprised him the most in the World Cup camp. He then went on to praise Bellingham's qualities, saying he's so young now, but the talent he possesses is unbelievable. He can do everything in that middle. He can drive with the ball. He's aggressive. He is unbelievable. Over the past couple of years being in the squad with him, he has always had the talent, but he is starting to gain the experience and he's becoming more into a man. Jude Bellingham has been so good that even opposition teams have nothing but admiration for his talent. Ahead of England's quarter-final clash against France at the World Cup, French defender Dayot Upamecano acknowledged his talent and called on the more experienced players in the French team to neutralize the threat he carried. With the transfer market only a few weeks away, several club legends have not hesitated to recommend Bellingham to their old clubs. One of them is Ramirez. The former Chelsea star Ramirez has urged his old club to go all out and sign Bellingham over any other midfielder, including the equally impressive Declan Rice. The Brazilian, who feels that Bellingham would be the perfect fit at Stamford Bridge, made the following comments on Caught Offside. I'm always watching English football, and I've seen every England game so far in Qatar. They have so many exciting young players, but Jude Bellingham is the one for me. He's the one boy who has caught my attention. I believe he's on a different level altogether. Ramirez added that Bellingham would be an amazing signing for the Blues. At about the same time, former England legend Gary Lineker tweeted this about Bellingham. Goodness me, Jude Bellingham is unbelievably good. He's the leader in this team. His parents must be so proud. Love him. The player, who is currently valued at over 100 million, is on the transfer target list of European giants such as Manchester City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Real Madrid, and PSG. But Manchester City legend Yaya Toure is a bit wary of the situation. A few days ago, Yaya Toure told The Athletic, "Bellingham has been the star of all of England's matches for me. Sometimes he's scoring, sometimes he's passing, and the timing of his box-to-box runs are perfect. He's in good shape and came into this tournament with the right confidence from Borussia Dortmund." He also stated that he hoped the media would be more careful with him because of the similar situation that Dele Alli found himself in a few years ago, adding that it is important for everyone to be protective of Bellingham for his development, because it's clear he has a bright future with England. But the whole hype about Bellingham didn't just begin. So, let's take a trip back in time. When Bellingham was 7 years old, his coach at the time, Mike Dodds, had already recognized his talent. By the time Bellingham was 12, Dodds noticed his desire to be the best in everything. In his words on BBC Radio, Dodds said, "I think the thing that probably set him apart was when he got to probably 12 or 13. He just had a real desire to be the very best at whatever he turned his hand to. And I think that's what really propelled him, beyond most 19-year-olds, not just in England, but obviously in world football." Former left-back and Birmingham's under-16 coach, Marcos Painter hasn't been surprised by the rapid development of Bellingham, having managed the player at a time when he was playing 2 age levels above his years. Painter said this in reference to Jude's demanding nature. "You wouldn't normally see that from a young lad. They'd be quite timid and reserved, but Jude was so demanding. It wouldn't matter what age group he was with, he would still be that demanding youngster that we see now." Perhaps the people who would know Bellingham on a deeper level are those he has spent a lot of time with at the club football level. He's what a few of them has said. A year ago, Borussia Dortmund center-back Mats Hummels heaped praise on the prodigy, calling him the most mature 18-year-old he had ever played with. According to Hummels, Bellingham is even more impressive than Mario Götze, who at his age helped Dortmund to win successive Bundesliga titles. Hummels also said he's already a leader and also one of the most vocal in the team. He's a fantastic footballer and guy, and I think I've told him about 20 times now that I just love him. He's on the way to the very top, there's no doubt about that. While still at Dortmund last year, Haaland also described Bellingham as fantastic, despite being 3 years younger than him. The Norwegian said, "He's 18, 3 years younger than me. It's crazy. What can I say? He's amazing. He plays so incredibly well. He's fantastic." But perhaps the ultimate compliment comes from Bellingham's idol, Steven Gerrard, who claimed that he was really excited to watch the midfielder. Gerrard also predicted Bellingham's future with the following remarks: "I think in the next 10 to 15 years, he's going to become an England superstar. Comment yes if you think Bellingham will become one of the best midfielders in the near future. Or if you think he's just another young wannabe, then tap the like button."